It's Monday afternoon, and you're joining us for the latest edition of Jedi Alliance episode 107. We're going to be talking about the last Rogue One trailer and the most recent episode of Star Wars Rebels Heras Heroes. You better stick with us, because it's going to be a wild ride!
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Jedi Alliance.
I just realized that I didn't put any toys on the table, and welcome to today's episode of Jedi Alliance, a celebration of the greatest saga ever told. I am one of your hosts, the internet's Mark B. Donica, joined as always by the one, John Rocha.
Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here this week. We're going live! So anything could happen. This is a fun thing. We talked about making changes.
We did.
And so this is one of the changes we wanted to do, play around with the format, see what we could do, see how the fans respond to it. So here we go live.
We've been live.
Well,
but we're trying to get people in here live more.
You know what's great is when your partner undercuts everything you just said for 2 minutes. Thanks!
You're welcome. That was 2 minutes. Damn, dude.
Yeah, I know it was live.
You made that work.
I know it was live.
It's okay. Keep fixing the paper.
No, Bespin.
You don't understand, Bespin. So one of the things that because John mentioned
we're having interactive with the audience. That's what I mean.
Exactly, and you're entirely correct in that.
Oh, thank you.
Not undercutting you
or
your wisdom. So as a result, we decided to obtain a new member of the show. We found him.
Obtain a new member.
Space.
I don't know how inappropriate that is to say right now.
I picked the word obtain.
Massively inappropriate.
He recently joined us on a previous episode. We liked him so much.
Yeah.
We're inviting him back. Mr. Michael Young is joining us. He is our chat master general. He's going to be keeping an eye on the chat throughout the entirety of the show and letting us know what you think. Michael, say hi to the people.
What's up, guys? Check it out. Lay Ill Kid at One Youngster. That's me, NerdSoul.
Wow.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you back. It was great when we had you for the Rebels preview a couple weeks ago.
I don't understand anything you just said. What did he just say?
Because you weren't here.
I don't.
It's called the art of self-promotion.
I'm no good at that.
It's a very quick, you got to lay it down.
Yeah. You smooth, man. I dig it.
Copy, paste,
Dude,
we got it all.
What's it like to not be the majority in the room? Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it's all balanced out now.
Feels like I live in California.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
C. Yeah. Let's get it on.
At least you didn't tell me to get more woke.
I don't speak like that. I'm too old to speak like that. I'm going to tell you get turned. Let's go.
Welcome to Jedi Alliance, where we get turned. That's not a thing that should ever happen. So one of the things that Michael is going to be helping us with is he's going to be monitoring the chat throughout the show. So instead of Mind Probe, we sort of retired. It's in Florida now. It's enjoying its time. It's been visiting a lot of Disney parks. The Mind Probe segment, to instead have it where anybody who is live can ask us questions, and we want you to ask these questions throughout the entirety of the show. Michael's going to keep them all down, and then once to get to the point where we usually have the Mind Probe, we're going to have Fan Probe, where you have asked us throughout the course of the show.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also,
probe the fans.
We're going to probe you. Thanks for
Go
coming
ahead, yes.
live.
Here we go.
And if you've been following us the past couple of weeks, we've made a change also to the Duel of the Fates format to where John and I debate one of two positions on things. And before, we sort of chose in between ourselves who's going to defend this side, who's going to defend that side.
Yes, we did.
We're taking that power away and giving it to you, the viewers.
That's right, guys.
So Michael is also going to be monitoring who is going to defend what side, and you're going to decide who does what. Michael, why don't you tell the folks at home what the Duel of the Fates is going to be this week?
This week, we're going to be talking about the Ghost versus the Falcon.
Oof.
Which is the better ship? Guys, go on and get down in the chat right now. Let us know how you feel. I feel a certain way, but I will not sway your judgment. It's about the Ghost or the Falcon, which is better. All around, speed, fighting, guns, gear, whatever, crew, whatever you want to say, get in there and let us know.
And make sure you let Michael know who you want to represent each side.
Right. Oh, yeah. I just went to Michael's site because I wanted to see what it was all about. Let's do it.
And more on that at the end of the show. So please, stay in the chat. If you're not watching us live, watch us live, because now you have a direct fingerprint on the show. We wanted to make this about the community, about the space.
The galaxy that's far away.
Yes, you're doing such a great job. I'm so proud of you.
We're trying to take the galaxy that is so far, far away and bring them close away.
Oh, no, that doesn't make any sense. Close
away.
No.
Now,
So you're going to go opposite on the first two words, but not the last one.
Exactly.
All right.
It's branding.
Okay.
I've studied years of all of this.
You have.
So why don't we get to our first segment, which is... What is it?
Lists of stories.
No,
it
it's
is news from the HoloNet.
Yes. Ooh. Breaking the fourth wall.
Brr. All right.
So it wasn't too big of a news week aside from the trailer, so that's what we're going to be spending most of our time on. But a fun petition came out over the weekend of something that we've been talking about numerous shows, numerous occasions. Fans have petitioned for an Old Republic show. On Netflix. As of right now, the petition has gained over 70,000 signees, so that it'll reach a point where I figure Star Wars, if they're not planning anything already, will be like, okay.
Yeah. Right. Well, we've been asking for this, like you mentioned, Mark. We've been talking about this, and I know I've been pushing for a Star Wars network for months, if not a couple of years now. It has to happen, and that latest trailer, that 6.5-minute trailer, was so fantastic. Who doesn't want to see a series based on that? Whether you go animated or live action, to me, it's completely irrelevant. I think it's either way. I'd be happy to see that. There's so much to explore here in the Old Republic. You know, there's so many different characters that were Jedis and became these horrible Sith Lords, and they rose up. There was the Jedi Wars, Council Wars. There's all kinds of stuff that happened during this time. There's such a wealth of information, a wealth of stories to explore. And for me, I think it's about time. And it's the number of signees that already have this petition lets you know that there's enough people. If you start to put it out into the world and put it a possibility, I guarantee it'll go 5-10 million people will sign up because people want to see more of Star Wars, which I've said this a number of times. People don't seem to agree with me. And I'm like, you can't have enough. You cannot have enough. There's so much to explore here.
Ultimately, you have to put it into the terms of how many people have signed this versus how much a regular subscription to Netflix costs.
Right.
And that's the money you're making.
Exactly.
Now, even if it's just like the $10 plan times 70,000, that's not that much money when it comes to Disney, but it's something, and it could lead to more. Michael, did you play either the Old Republic MMO or Knights of the Old Republic?
I've never played them.
Okay.
But I've watched the cutscenes a billion times. I actually have them on a hard drive as if they are real stories.
Yeah.
And I'll watch them every now and then and be like, oh, that was great what happened way back.
I remember that moment.
As if it's really canon.
Well, I mean, if you've got 4 shows on Chicago MD, Chicago Fire,
MD,
Chicago
Fire, police.
all this crap. If you can do 4 shows out of Chicago, you can do 4 shows of Star Wars. For God's sake, there's way more to explore there. You know.
So as part of the petition, they want it to focus on the Knights of the Old Republic, Old Republic era, and focus on well-known characters: Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Bastila Shan, Darth Treya, Mitra Surik, Darth Malgus, and Satel Shan as well. Very specific.
Yeah.
And also, I think the problem with fans these days is, and here's where you're not gonna hate me, but there's so much instant gratification these days.
Yes.
Where people get an entire series right away, and if somebody says, hey, let's do this, and it doesn't happen within 5 minutes, then be like, well, you're not listening to us. Right. And whereas this could be something that's been in the works for years.
Yeah.
And once it gets announced, fans are going to go, I did that.
Right.
It's like, no, there's
it's like they've been planning this. This has been in development for a while.
Yeah.
If only you knew.
Well, and the thing is also, how are you going to approach this situation? How are you going to approach the Old Republic? What angle are you going to take? How accessible are you going to make it? Because it is a lot of mythology. So how are you going to create this mythology? They did it with Game of Thrones, obviously, right? But people had read the books ahead of time. So how many people are going to read this or get the knowledge of this to walk into a show like this and be able to be versed in the mythology? So this is what I think was what I worry about with the show is how are you going to present this to a way that's a little more accessible and interesting and not just a niche type thing.
I mean, in terms of Game of Thrones, a lot of people started watching because of the book.
Yes.
And then once those people started talking, people were like, oh, there's this new show.
Right.
What? It's a book?
Right.
So I would say at this point about half and half of the folks, and especially now that there aren't any books that are being based off of the current series, the current seasons, and people are still on it.
Yeah.
I think it as long as you make it well. If they do this like Star Wars version of The Wire, where we get people from all different sides, all different walks, all different creeds.
Yeah.
and coming together in this one crazy time in Coruscant.
Yeah.
I think it would be good regardless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
What kind of a show do you want to see, Michael?
I've always wanted to see a show about the underbelly, you know, like Black Sun, the Hutts, like kind of like what goes on in the Outer Rim, and seeing like a power struggle with the Empire, because they don't really have that much sway in the Outer Rim because they're already so, stretched so thin. So, even in the Outer Rim, they have to come and like pay their respects to like the Black Sun or something. And it would be cool to kind of see that. And I think you could do that on a Netflix budget.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of Jedi stuff going on, and there's more just kind of like, it's kind of like, the Mob, like, or, Sopranos, or, like you said, like The Wire. You could do it a little bit more like that. And then maybe have your Jedi scene.
Or every once in a while
every 3 episodes or 4 episodes, something like that, very sparingly.
Once in a while have a Hutt either effect or puppet.
Yeah.
I would want to go old school Return of the Jedi, have like a 4-person puppet. And
that could work. That could work these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
4-person puppet. Interesting. Okay.
Let us know. Sorry, did that remind you of your weekend?
Yes.
Take that however you want. Let us know what you want from a Netflix Old Republic show in the comments or on Twitter at Jedi_Alliance. The next story we're going to talk about is Ashley Eckstein's dream Asoka movie.
Yeah.
As everybody knows, the Asoka novel came out this past weekend, and she did a little interview with OuterPlaces.com and talked about now we're in a world where any Star Wars media can happen. What sort of Ahsoka story do you want? Right. And I liked her answer was essentially, if she survives all of this Rebels stuff, her future and sort of the end of her life, or right after Order 66, like what Dave Filoni revealed at Celebration.
Right.
So which of these stories are you more interested in, or do you think we should get something entirely different?
Oh,
together?
I think right after she survived, absolutely. If she survived the fight we're led to believe she survived the fight with Anakin, so that's that. And so I would love to see more of what area she goes into, like in terms of her mind and her training and her, like, does she become like Kung Fu, the old 70s TV show where she's going to these random places and like doing the kind of Ronin type thing where she's saving people and helping people? I think that would be fantastic. And if it's a female protagonist, even more fantastic to see that, because it's very, very rare to see that in any kind of media. So it'd be fantastic to see, it'd be fun to see what she would do, what they could do with that particular storyline. And also the idea of if she's going to become one of these gray Jedis, going to
like
even
Gred-Eye.
more. So Gred-Eye. It would be fantastic to see how they go and push that and see what you can explore with that and what groundwork you can lay that can plant seeds for something later on down the road.
What about you, Michael?
I would really love to see a series, or maybe like a mini series, maybe like 10 strong episodes with Ahsoka and Ventress. I really liked seeing them together in season 5, I think, of Clone Wars. And I just really would like to see maybe just one adventure with those two before Ahsoka goes off. Now, I know they talked about how the episodes that weren't produced, how she was supposed to go off with Rex and everything. But I would like to see maybe a little something with those two. I just love those two together. I think that could be real cool.
I'm super interested in the Order 66 time as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say ultimate question is this animated or is this live action? What would you rather say?
Oh, this is interesting. It's like, well, I think you keep her animated for that, but I think you can do live action into the movies soon enough. I think eventually, at some point, you're going to have to make her live action in the films. She's just too much of a beloved character. Why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? You're already kind of dancing around with Orson Krennic the idea of a Thrawn. So why wouldn't you bring Ahsoka Tano in? And she says, like, logically, if they bring Saw Gerrera, why can't they bring me in? Absolutely, and they should.
Would you want?
We've seen already her race represented, I think, in the prequels. So why not?
Would you want her to voice or get the makeup done?
That's a very tough question to ask an actor.
No, I know.
Obviously, I would say yes, let her do the whole thing, but I have a feeling they wouldn't do that. I feel like they would recast, which would be all drama. Again, are they casting the right person? What would Ashley's role in that be? Yeah. I'd be surprised if they actually did it with Ashley, even though they model some of the animation off of her. I'd be very surprised if they did it with her, because I think they'd probably want to go younger. Not that Ashley's obviously young, but like they'd want to do like a prequel type thing where you see like these things going on since the situation with Anakin.
Well, I would say since they got James Arnold Taylor involved in the film,
yes,
so they got all generations of Obi-Wan in there.
Yeah.
I figure they're at least open to the idea.
I'm sure.
If it's a full film, they would probably cast somebody completely different.
That's what I mean.
If it was I think if it was like a cameo, they would dub.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
What do you think?
Now, there is someone from the chat. Corey Donaldson said, "How about a Star Wars series based on the Mandalorians, inspired by a series like Vikings?"
Yeah, sure.
I think that could be really cool. Big shouts to Corey Donaldson on that one. I think that could be really savage, as they say.
Hashtag.
I'm down with that.
But yeah, at that, man. If there are any more questions like that, keep those for the end so that we can talk about them.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Just because our next story is the Rogue One trailer.
Ew.
So we're gonna take some time. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna talk over it
Okay.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 style.
Okay.
And enjoy the newest and last story trailer for Rogue One. Goodness me. Let's take a gander at this. Beautiful ocean planet. Oh, with a ring. I didn't notice that the first time. Moisture evaporator.
The shades of New Hope.
But up against a mountain.
Yeah.
I understand.
And we're finally getting some Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes.
Like this
Almost samurai-like.
Yeah. We get
design
we have
here.
the actual story though.
What if he is a
What?
a
Hold
Jedi?
on. You never know. He could be a force wielder, if
Yeah.
anything. They've presented the idea of force wielders and not necessarily being a Jedi. Mm-hmm. And I think 100%
Is that
the fallen Jedi statue?
Is that Kenobi? A lot of
No,
rumors
I-
online have been it says Kenobi.
I mean, Qui-Gon Jinn had a beard.
Yeah.
A lot of people had beards. Beards are a
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Even alien species had beards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just a sort of representative of how the Holy Land has fallen.
I love that shot. Death Star over them. People complain, oh, it's the Death Star again. Hey, you know what? Get out of here. This is a whole nother approach, and it has to be respected. It's so good.
Yeah.
And did anybody groan a bit at the "we need a call sign"? Rogue One. Like, is that?
Didn't bother me at all.
No.
I said roll credits, but I still enjoy it.
To me, that's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the music and everything.
Yeah.
They're building it up like such a big gimmick.
This is great. You see the wars, what they've done to Saul.
They've no idea we're coming.
Such a different environment.
And now we're also starting to get music that is different
Yes.
than the regular theme. It's
Yep.
got elements of it,
Yeah.
but it's also seeing a blind guy with a bow
So
caster.
Yeah.
A
The
little
X-Wings.
scary.
You're all rebels, aren't you?
Looks like Krennic is going to be going down at Vader's hand.
Yeah.
Now, call me crazy, but you never see Darth Vader and Mads Mikkelsen's character in the same room. Do you think he's Darth Vader?
Why do you say things like that?
Like what?
He's
we
not
don't
Darth
know.
Vader.
Darth Vader's this new character.
Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader.
What?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are
Apparently
you doing?
Apparently he's
This
spitting.
great actor, young kid coming up called Hayden Kristian.
No.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he played Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, he did those Star Trek movies,
He
right?
did?
Yeah.
Well, no. This is, well, you know what's great about this trailer is this whole, they're really embracing the atmosphere of the planet. Like, this is a whole new thing. There's not a lot of dust. There's not a lot of dirt. There's a couple of shots of it's mostly the water. I love these shots. It's putting you in a whole different vibe. It's aquamarine, right? In its approach. And so you're like, okay, this is fantastic. What are they going, what are they, why does it have to be, because there has to be a reason for this. Do you know what I'm saying? As the writers create, why are they putting it on this kind of planet? What is going to come of this? What about the Death Star is essential for it to be in this kind of situation? What about this planet that is part of it all? So I wonder what we're going to have that, how we're going to have that addressed in the movie. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there are so many shots of the water.
Well, I think it's just reminiscent of war movies.
Yeah.
Because there's
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
good
night
call. The World War II
infiltration in
type
the
movies, yeah.
rain.
Yeah.
The beaches, like maybe not necessarily
Yeah.
World War II,
Yeah.
but maybe
It
a
feels
little,
like it.
little bit of Vietnam in there.
Sure.
Like they're this is like a best of Human Wars
Yeah.
and putting it in amongst the stars.
Yeah.
That's how they got the name Star Wars.
There was some.
Thank you.
Did you sense any Star Wars Rebels influence in the trailer?
I figure once we get to the end of Rebels and we get to that fade-in point that
Yeah.
Filoni talked about, I think we'll be able to I think this will be where we're going.
Okay.
Like this is more of a preview for Rebels than it is vice versa.
Okay.
And like this type of what we're going to see the Scarif Troopers.
Yeah.
We're going to see. I figure we'll see Jeddah at some point within
Yeah.
the next couple of seasons.
Right.
So, I don't see why not.
Okay, Michael, what do you think?
This trailer is everything I needed it to be.
Right.
I don't need to see anything else.
I mean, seriously.
It's top quality. You definitely see why they brought on people that worked on like Zero Dark 30,
Yeah.
Black Hawk Down, which is one of my favorite movies and stuff. It just has that kind of feel like Tears of the Sun, stuff like that, where it's almost, it has like a almost like documentary look where you're like almost there. It doesn't have that kind of like gloss on it. It has that kind of like real feel.
Yeah.
Like these people are in real danger. These are real places. All of these people can get hurt. And of course, most of these people are probably going to be either dead or in hiding by the end of the film.
Yeah.
But just the trailer, like from the story to the acting, I know people had complaints about the dialogue. I didn't. And then the effects were just incredible. And we know the effects aren't even done.
Yeah.
So this is a home run for me.
Look, I'm not saying people shouldn't complain. And that's great, Michael. Absolutely, I think all your points are great. I don't think people shouldn't complain. Just like let it live, let it breathe,
let it happen.
Let
You
it
haven't
happen.
seen the damn movie yet.
Then we'll complain. Like people just want to nitpick apart. The poster's fantastic. The trailer is so good.
They also released a new poster
Yeah.
with the trailer that is while it is reminiscent of the original posters.
Yeah.
It takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
I
The fact that
absolutely
you
love it.
have the Death Star's plans on her face, that is brilliant.
And Vader looming right behind
yes.
her. Yeah.
But not in a way that's it's just right on the flip side of it,
Yeah.
which is so fantastic.
Just sneaking in like Donald Trump at the debate.
Oh my gosh! All right,
That's the one thing.
That's
There we
what
go.
But what's also great about the trailer, I thought, it puts you in the right mood. You're right. It tells a story. We understand it's a father-daughter story. We get that. Judging from her look, she's probably 10 years old when this is happening. So is this the first time she's seeing her dad? What is motivating her to go find her dad? Like, what is the impetus for all this? And that's what I guess we're going to find that out in the movie. But like, this is. Seems like because he might be him and Orson are friends. It seems like they were friends or whatever because he comes to find him. He takes him with him. Who's in the Bacta tank from the first? It feels like it might be
Krennic now.
Yeah, Krennic now. So this is interesting.
Boy
to me.
got beat.
Right, right. So there's so much here to see what's happening and the way the team is coming together in these trailers. Riz Ahmed is still not saying much, which is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're only showing shots of him, right? And then he has the Rogue One, but he doesn't say much. What?
This may be a little bit too much of
Yeah.
of thinking ahead. What if he's an Empire spy?
Riz Ahmed? Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Like, what if they're trying to put in our heads, like, oh, this character is important. He's not saying much, so it's
Right.
probably saving it all for the movie. But he comes up with a call sign.
Yeah.
That's an easy thing to share or to come up with in an empirical
Right.
boardroom. Who knows? I'm just happy that we can talk about new Star Wars movies
Yeah.
like they're coming out within the year as opposed to 10 years.
Oh, I think it works better if there isn't a rebel spy. So it's a more difficult task, you know.
No,
to do that
not a
work.
rebel spy, an Imperial spy.
Imperial spy. That's what I mean. It's a more difficult task to not have an Imperial spy on there because if you're then the odds are completely stacked against you, and you knew they were going to lose anyway. But if you have it so it's somewhat equal, somewhat possible, then the audience will go on the journey and believe it's possible to the last second, and then whatever. Because I'm not one of these people that thinks that all these people are going to die. I don't actually believe that. I know I read a lot of speculation and reviews and whatever, and everyone just kind of assumes most of these people are going to die. I actually don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see. Because I'd be really surprised if a Star Wars movie comes out where they kill a bunch of people in the movie. You know,
In a
Like an
movie as opposed to a
entire thing.
TV show.
Right, or as opposed to one person. Because I was watching this morning at 7 a.m. I was rewatching Force Awakens again this morning. It's on Stars or something, and I happened to flip on just before I left for work the scene where Ben kills Han. Spoiler. And when it happened, I was like, see, this is why deaths are momentous in the Star Wars movies. They're not done frivolously. And so if they introduce these characters and do such background work on these characters and then they kill them all off, I get the emotional effect of it. I just would be really surprised if Disney would do that. It's just not the Disney MO with this kind of property. I just would be surprised, is all I'm saying.
I figure if anything, it's like, all right, that was the mission, and we all go our separate ways.
Right. That's what I believe more than anything else.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Kind of like maybe one or two, right? Maybe one or two will die, but
and
not the entire thing or more than half.
Rebels mentioned that the possibility that there could be more than one cell
Yes.
than Dodonna's,
Right.
which is the one that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
But who knows what other sects there are, and it's just the part of the galaxy that we don't see.
Right, and logically they would have to be. Right.
And
Exactly.
as speaking to the point about Mads Mikkelsen's
Yeah.
character really quick, he did an interview recently where he mentioned that we are going to be seeing Jyn at multiple stages of her life.
That's
so not
great.
just this, and not just as an adult. And so
Okay.
we'll be seeing them grow as a family.
Yeah, and I want to see where the mom is. Are we doing the Disney thing where they kill off the mom?
Probably.
Yeah, oh, man.
You got to put that.
I'm wondering.
I would say Disney stamp, but
Yeah.
I'm going with brand. Burn it right in there. There was also an interesting theory to come out of the trailer, which, if we can bring up the next image, since this takes place within a decent amount of Order 66 of the end of Episode 3, still within the time frame, and this is something that we talked about recently.
Yeah.
There's a theory that the elite Death Trooper Guard are still leftover clones of Boba Fett from the Clone Wars.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Jango.
Of Jango,
Yeah. Well, that would be awesome. A, that would explain why they have a whole different vibe and stance and movement scheme than the other troopers, right? This would make it seem as if, for once, we're going. How can I say this correctly? We're gonna present you with stormtroopers. We understand that from New Hope you have the feeling that they can't shoot anything and they're a joke. So what we're going to do is, within logical canon, we're going to create this type of stormtrooper and put the idea that they could be even more vicious, more violent, whatever, and obviously can shoot better because they're clones of Jango. And that would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense. So they're kind of retconning the stormtroopers to make them a little more badass, and that's how they're doing it. And to me, that makes sense.
Well, I think it would be more of an elite guard. It's like, we've got these guys. We know they're good because they killed all the Jedi.
Right.
So we're going to run with them, but we need a little bit more folks. So why don't we just do a draft? If anybody wants to join, we'll have they can be the trainers,
Right.
But why don't we'll get it started with this final batch, so to speak.
Yeah, because we didn't see any elite guards in New Hope, or so there's a why wouldn't you pull those out if they're destroying all your people consistently? You would have, and so that's why I think this is an interesting thing to put forth, because you're going to find out, well, what happened to them, were they used, and were they all destroyed?
What do you think, Michael?
I think it's definitely very, very feasible, because you have the stormtroopers where they just kind of like use overwhelming force.
Yeah.
Like, if you have 30 people shooting, somebody's got to hit something.
Right.
But then you have these guys that's like, well, we can't use the old Republic outfits and stuff. But if we put them in all black, which is our favorite color scheme, black and gray, if we put them in all black, that'll be even more scary.
Yeah.
And it'll kind of like wash away the Republic look, and we can still use these clones that we got from the water planet people.
Right. Right.
Camino.
Oh yes, Camino.
Look at this. Look at the way the guy's standing next to Krennic's right. I mean, that's a swagger stance.
Yeah.
That's not a regular stormtrooper stance. That's
No.
a swagger stance.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And we got 2 with shoulder pads, so indicating a higher rank than the other 3.
Yeah.
And the helmets being, as you mentioned, sort of a fade from the Republic trooper into a stormtrooper. It seems like we're going to get some either old dogs or like the last batch.
Yeah, it looks great.
The last batch.
The last batch. All right, so that does it for news from the Holonet for this week, which brings us into our next part of the show, where we're going to be talking about this past week's episode of Rebels in Rebels Rewind.
Boom.
This week's episode was titled Heras Heroes.
Hello.
Now, this one was all about Hera, and actually, surprisingly, had a bit of story about Chopper in it.
Yeah. Chopper.
Yes, very. I was no, it was like scary, but also enlightening.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes.
Long story short, Chamson, there's a problem on Ryloth, and the crew of the Ghost comes down to help because they just want to help Hera. Hera's like, no, this wasn't supposed to be person. They're like, yo, we got it.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, let's do it. She ends up breaking into her house to reclaim what is known as a Kalikori, which is a family artifact that builds from generation to generation, and it was going to be inherited by Hera until the Empire took control of their property. So it's a very personal journey.
Yeah.
And little did we know that Admiral Thrawn is handling everything personally.
Yes.
Because he knows exactly what to do, how to deal with these rebels. And there's a moment. I should. Do you want to talk about
keep talking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I enjoyed the episode. It was so much better than it wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be, but the parts between Thrawn and Hera were chilling. For an animated series, chilling. The way the voice work that he is doing with Thrawn is off the charts in terms of taking this series to another level. Like, it really is the work he's doing. Like, all the stuff that David Onuelo is doing for Callus is great. All the stuff that Freddie Prinze Jr. is doing great. Everyone else is doing great work. But what this guy's doing with Thrawn is taking this series into another level, and which is what Filoni and Justin Ridge have been saying. They want to take this into a darker place to lead up to Rogue One. This makes sense, what they're doing. So, and seeing this other aspect of Hera that she's built through war, as opposed to what we've kind of seen her as is kind of, she's not, I wouldn't say happy-go-lucky, but she's very just solid, and she does her job, and she's caring, and she's comforting, and all this jazz. But the way he says that to her is like, you were built through war. You know, there was something powerful in that, as he was also talking about himself, because there is a way, he has an aloofness to the situation that's almost unsettling, a coldness, that it is all to him literally pieces on a chessboard to him, or so they move around as he sees fit, because he studies war. He says that I study it. Like, that's a whole nother thing. It's not to win. It's not a matter of like trying to fight for a cause. To him, it's like a driving force to understand war in itself. It even lets them go at the end because he understands the long game of playing this thing. And
one of my favorite moments, because when we first looked at the trailer and he was getting so close to Hera, I was just like, too close.
Yes.
But when he's discussing with the other general about what to do with the Kalikori, he's like, oh, don't worry, Hera. I'm going to take care of this in my own personal thing. And you're like, that's disgusting.
Right.
And then when the guy's like, we should just destroy it, and he grabs him and says, yeah, forgive me.
Right.
I just understand that and it goes right back to his proper, just like, don't get it.
That's right. It's like me and the Schmoes Know. So I'm real cool until I put the hat on. No, what I like about him, what I like about this is that you got shades of the Zahn stuff bleeding through, his appreciation for the art, which is culture, right? Which is what was a big deal about Thrawn in Zahn's novels, and so you have that bleeding through in the episodes. So you're like, okay. This is, if they're going to keep doing this makes sense, and this is it's subtle enough that it's enough of a we got you type of thing for the fans who've read the novels and understand it, but it's not so far out there that when you see it, you're like, oh, is that some kind of thing that I should know about? Do you know what I'm saying? It's really done subtly well.
Did you watch the episode, Michael?
Yes.
What did you think about it?
Thrawn is already my favorite character. So you guys know that. But just the way he had every I dotted, every T crossed. He was like, oh, no, you didn't know who this was? This is Hera. Blah, blah, blah. Goes on about who she is. And then Ezra tries to jump. He's like, Pop, no, I knew you were. I knew who you were. I knew that when you walked in here. Right. It's just cool that he has every angle locked down. And even when they blew up the house and he was like, get them or whatever, he was like, let them have this one. They earned this one. They can have this one. Right. I'm Grand Admiral Thrawn. I don't cry over this one little house. Like, I've already won this game and I'm playing the next game. Right. So it was just wonderful to see.
This game is the pawn in the bigger game, and whatever, who cares?
It was just wonderful to see him work. It was cool to see Chopper with the PTSD.
Yeah.
Hello.
It was just my old friend. Yeah. So it was cool, but Thrawn just stood out for me. So I'm just interested to see if Thrawn and Darth Vader ever have a scene together.
Yeah. Oh.
That's
you want to talk about a chess match?
Yeah.
And I kind of love the way they kind of dismissed Ezra, how Thrawn dismissed Ezra with a shot. I was just like, you're not, what do you think you're doing?
This doesn't concern you,
Yeah,
child.
right. It was great.
Adults are talking.
Which I think is good because this is a struggle with this show with Ezra now in this season. It feels like at times they're trying to force him into stuff, and you don't need to have him forced into stuff. Let it be natural, but they risk that they have to walk that line of losing the focus of the show because he is essentially the focus of the show while they give other people storylines and stuff to play with. The problem is that other people that they're giving the storylines to are actually very interesting and have great backstories. So it's an incredible line that they're walking here throughout this particular season of this series.
Yeah, because the last episode just made, and we've been talking about how much we want more Sabine stuff.
Yeah.
So last week being a Sabine episode and Ezra going the whole time.
Right.
And you go, why don't we get more of Ezra?
Right.
Which I did go back and watch. Thank you very much. One of the standout episodes so far in this season, despite not having the Bendu in it, which is arguably the greatest character of the season.
Agreed.
I apologize for saying so.
I would agree with that.
To any of you Thrawn lovers out there.
Only because Tom Baker.
I do love
voices him.
Bendu. I like him.
Bendu's Tom Baker.
Tom Baker voicing him is what puts him over the top. Yeah.
And you want to talk a different side of aloofness.
Yeah.
To have him and Thrawn sort of on the opposite sides of the spectrum, just shouting into the inside. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is called The Last Battle, and they actually released a clip, which we're going to share with you right now. Let's take a look. And it's from Lucasfilm, because it's a silent part.
Rex!
Where are we?
How intriguing. Well done, B1268.
Roger, Roger.
The final sect, the last sect of the droid army.
Wow.
It's not over.
Rex.
You want to talk about PTSD?
Oh my lord.
Talk to me.
Oh, Kanan. I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else.
I need you here now, buddy. We're in
Did
the
we hear a little bit
usual
of
mess. I think the
Matt
commander's
Lancer in there?
tactical droid.
You're right. He is.
Is that bad?
It's really bad.
Shut up, Ezra. Jeez.
Extremely intelligent.
Near the end of the war, Separatist droids significantly outnumbered Republic units. By my calculations, our probability of being defeated was only 23.6%.
After Clone Order 66, the whole droid army was given a shutdown command. How are you even operating?
The Jedi betrayal ended the war for most of the galaxy, but here on Agamar, I assumed it was a Republic trick and prevented the shutdown command.
Well, it doesn't matter how it ended. The war is over. Let us go!
Negative, Captain. I calculate that this will be my only opportunity to end the Clone Wars as I planned, with a victory for the Separatist Alliance.
Wow.
And that's a look at next week's episode, The Last Battle, where we assume to see
Very cool.
the last of the Clone War droid army.
Wow.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
Bringing everything back around.
I guess so.
PTSD for everybody! Hello, darkness. So that concludes the Rebel Rewind, and now let's go to the segment that we talked about at the top of the show, Fan Probe. That's where if you're watching live, you can submit questions to us live in our chat room, curated by Mr. Michael Young, and we will answer them right now.
Boom.
Do we have any wonderful questions from our beautiful chat?
Well, we covered the Mandalorian.
Cover the Mandalorian show.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Are we going to cover the Chopper PTSD moment a little deeper?"
Well, this isn't because it wasn't really. It wasn't.
That was by
Okay.
Sluice Friggins.
Oh, Sluice Friggins.
Sluice Friggins. Excuse me.
There's not much to cover because he's looking at it. He's having the PTSD, but it just hints at a darker time, right? In Chopper's life, or Chopper's existence. But they did just enough to get you interested in seeing what may be coming. You know, they Chopper feels at times a bit like he's useless this season at times, and so they did that to kind of drop a little seed, I think, to see how to pay it off later on.
I don't think it was smart to give the murder bot a box of explosives and the trigger, because he was like, "Woo!" He was having the
He was a
time
little excited.
of his life.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I get to blow up all of my memories. Great! I can feel better now." And I think it's going to come back around and hit him even harder. But if that's the main memory was that Y-wing and it's gone now, I think he might start to get better.
Yeah.
Or he might start to talk about how blowing up the house didn't do anything, and he actually feels worse about it.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I always excited for more Murderbot.
Yeah.
The next one comes from Ryan McKenna, which says, What do you think of the comment from Mads Mikkelsen that he worked with 3 actors that played Jyn, one at 4, 8, and with Felicity Jones? So what do you think that means for the story of Rogue One?
Well, it seems like 8 is what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
And obviously Felicity Jones. But so we'll see. I'm sure we'll have her having flashbacks of their situation and them being together. And this is going to obviously solidify their relationship for the audience. And so that when Jyn is doing what she's doing, we will understand why. We will have that connection. We will have that through line that we need through the protagonist, which is being Jyn, to go on her journey with her because of her connection with her dad and how that was established at 4, and then how it was abandoned at 8 because he was taken by Krennic.
I think at age 4, we're going to see them running from the Empire because he's abandoning his post, realizing what the Death Star is and what it can do, and he might have something critical to the completion of it, and just, Jyn, we gotta go, and that could be how they lose the mom. And then at 8, we see how nice their life has been before the Empire found them,
right? And
then moving on to what you had said.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Sky Patterson asked, when will we find out who Snoke is? So episode 8 or 9?
That's a good question.
I would say at the end of 8.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think we'd get another big reveal at the end of 8.
I think we're not going to find out till 9.
Yeah.
I think 8's going to be all about Luke and figuring all that out. And obviously we're going to see Snoke. Well, no, you might be right, Mark, because Snoke's going to be training Kylo or fixing Kylo through the whole to juxtapose what Luke and Rey are going to be doing. So it makes sense that he would be revealed in 8, but we could hold off till 9 so we really see. Like if you've watched Luke Cage, you see the first few episodes, a certain person is the villain, and then you realize who the real villain is, which is one of the best swerves I've ever seen in the show.
Dang it!
And so when you don't know who you don't see it coming. You don't see it. Even if I'm telling you this, it'll still be a surprise.
Cool.
And so when you see it, so it could be the same thing happening here. Like we have this idea, and then in 9 you really find out who Snoke is. You think it's this in 8, and then when 9 rolls around, you're like, oh man, it was really this. I don't know.
It'll be fun.
All right. It looks like the last one that we got in is Chris Neha.
Okay.
I hope I didn't screw up your name. But the question is, how many movies or shows do they need to make a network viable? And I thought about that. That could be kind of interesting, like Star Wars Channel.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a little while. John's been championing it. I think with Rebels, with Clone Wars, with any and all behind-the-scenes footage that they've accumulated over the years, any lost footage, plus right now 7 going on 10 movies at this point, 11 movies at this point. It's sort of a thing like you mentioned. You just caught Force Awakens today.
Yeah.
This is one of the things where they play the movies, and then at the primetime hours is when they put out the new stuff.
Yeah.
Or there's a miniature Clones marathon every other day or so. So I think they're just about there. I don't think there's too much room left.
Right, that's a great point, Mark. And also this idea, if you're going to, like, WWE Network is a great model for this idea, because they generate new content all the time.
Yeah.
And they throw a lot at the wall to see what sticks, And so you respect the fact that they know they have to generate new content. If there's enough funding, because they're getting funded obviously by their shows and their merchandise and what have you, that's what you would need to have funnel that money, the Disney money, into a Star Wars network. And then you'd have it, because you could have game shows about movie trivia, Star Wars trivia game shows.
Have something like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Disney,
They would obviously be
please.
talk shows.
Listen up. That's right, Disney. We're talking to you.
I know they made the Star Wars show, but that's more of a short form.
Right, that's like a 10-minute thing, right, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you can do other things. You can do more in depth. You can do one-on-one conversations, like you see sometimes on Audience Channel. They have, I forget who it is that sits down and talks to an actor or a famous person for like an hour. You can have interviews with a number of people who have been involved in all the stuff, and have that as a weekly thing. There's a number of things that you can do because there's so much to explore in the Star Wars universe. Look. You look at all the books, there's a reason they went Legends. That's all just Legends, because it is a book upon book upon book upon media upon media of stuff that you can explore. And if you have the right person in charge of all of it to hone it so that you get it to be in a network, that's what's going to take. That's what's going to take to a successful network, is have the head of the network, or whoever in charge, look at all the media, and with writers and producers and whoever else can get involved there, hone out hammer out a plan over the next 5 years for 5 years of programming.
Yeah.
Just hammer out a plan. Go like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Like what we see now is a very microcosm version of what you could do in a network. They're releasing all kinds of media. They release comic books, young adult novels, Claudia Gray's stuff. Aftermath. All that stuff comes out. And then you have the new movies, and then you have the Rogue One story. I mean, then you have those Star Wars stories, and then you have Lego Star Wars, and then you have all this stuff on TV animated.
Didn't even talk about Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, right. So there's all of that you can do. But you're right. You have to have the right funding, and you have to have the person with a vision for the next 5 years and a business plan, or else it doesn't work.
I also think.
I think you just sold us. I think you just sold us.
No, he's been selling it for months. But I also, you mentioned comics.
There you go.
Yeah.
So a simple solution that Marvel's been doing for a little while is motion comics.
Yeah.
Where you take an entire arc and you just go panel to panel. You get voiceover artists like yourself.
I mean,
to take part in the story, and then you have content you have a secondary version of the same content.
yeah.
It's easy. It's quick. Thank you for everybody who's joined us live in chat for Fan Probe. Remember, join us live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to submit your questions, and we will answer them live on the show. Your job ain't done, though, because it's time for Duel of the Fates. And if you remember correctly, we are now doing a debate version of Duel of the Fates, where there's going to be 90 seconds on the clock for each person to prove their point. The one issue being, we don't know what our points are yet. Just so to give some folks some time, because I know there's a bit of a delay and you don't need to bring. Oh, actually, no. Get the graphic ready. We're going to talk about last week's results, but submit who you want to defend for the Ghost or for the Millennium Falcon. One of us is going to defend for one of us is going to defend for the other. What is the better ship? So let us know in the comments right now in chat who's gonna defend for what. And now let's talk about last week's question, which was Ewoks versus Wookiees.
Yeah,
pretty basic. You would figure you would know the way the internet would vote, and you'd be right. Wookiees won. Everybody let the Wookiees win.
Let's the Wookiees win
on Facebook and Twitter. And we're gonna read some of our favorite responses right now, and you can. We're gonna post this whole segment on Facebook. We do it every week now, so please leave your responses. Kim Ebensgard wrote, "The Ewoks have a slight edge, though, because neither Caravan of Courage nor the Battle of Endor is as bad as the Star Wars Christmas special. Actually, the Battle for Endor is kind of good." Mark lost me with Skrillex, though.
Yeah.
What?
That was a stretch.
Yub Nub Step? I'm all about it.
Yeah. Skrillex is not even relevant now.
I mean,
you got to catch up on the kids.
He wasn't relevant when he was releasing music.
Oh, stop it.
He's a nice guy, though.
He is a nice guy. Ashley Brooks says, "How can you not love Wookiees? If you don't, then you hate having friends." Agreed. There's no one more loyal than a Wookiee, and let's face it, who the heck else is going to have your back, let you win the medal for something you both did as a team, and bring freaking big weapons to battles. Dude, they're even okay with smuggling, whether it's cookies or credits. Bing, bing, bing. All of the love and none of the tauntaun smell. John did them justice. Oh, it's Wookiees all the way.
Charlie Davis wrote, "Mark had the more convincing spiel, but the answer is Wookiees. They pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Lucas wanted Wookiees in Return of the Jedi, but 7-footers are scarce, so he cut them in half to create the Ewoks. Wookiees are twice as tall, strong, and intelligent as Ewoks, which is why the Empire considered them a threat. Not so the little teddy bears."
Lucas, it's called the NBA. A lot of 7-footers in the NBA. All right, so Jessica Beersley says, "Wookiees, clearly they have access to modern technology and the know-how to fly ships, use advanced weaponry, etc., etc." There we go.
It was good.
Yeah.
I think the team you're trying to think of was the Kashyyyk Globetrotters.
Okay. Boo.
Why not? Yeah,
I'm just saying, don't tell
bad.
me 7-footers are scarce. You can find 7-footers everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. A little bit taller, maybe not necessarily 7-footers, but where did you get them all for Attack of the Clones?
If you have 10 7-footers, you can shoot an entire battle sequence.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. You tight shots, move around, they can use the same 10
Just
7-footers.
change different bandoleros.
Just don't do the same moving that they do in the Bourne film.
Yeah, good call.
So this week's question is the Ghost versus the Falcon. What is the better ship, Michael? Do you have our results?
Well, there's 4 votes for the Falcon.
Ooh.
3 votes for the Ghost.
Okay.
Some people were asking, is the Phantom a factor? And someone even asked, sluice friggins? who's the better pilot, Han or Hera?
Well,
just as a sub.
The question we're asking the chat is not who would win, it's who is defending.
Oh
which
yeah, I
point.
was getting to that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
there we go.
So
apologize.
next is there's 3 people that want Mark to take the Falcon,
Okay.
and there's 2 people that want Rocha to take the Ghost.
All right. That means you're
All
doing
right.
the Falcon.
That means I'm doing the Falcon.
Let's
okay.
get it on.
Who? You're the brand new addition. Who is going to go first?
Should we do a coin toss or?
I don't just whatever. Man. I don't care. I can be ready.
Let's see who should go first.
Age before beauty.
No.
Let's go.
No.
Let's go. We'll go with Mark first.
Yeah, I agree
We'll go
with
with
that.
Mark. We'll
All
go
right.
with Mark first. On this.
So put 90 seconds on the clock because my time starts right now. The Millennium Falcon is the most iconic ship in Star Wars history. While some may consider it a piece of junk, it always comes through in a tight squeeze when you need it. Infinitely repairable. It is the PC of the spacefaring ship class. It is the standard bearer.
Yeah.
All other ships that have come after it have tried, including the Ghost, have tried to mimic what makes the Millennium Falcon so cool. There has not been a design as cool as the Falcon since. And hey, it's not your time yet.
No, it's not.
I
I'm
also
just-
want to mention
Yeah.
on this ship-covered shirt that I purchased,
Yeah.
an official Star Wars product. Let's see, we've got the Y-wing, we've got even the Star Speeder 1000 is on here, but most notably, we've got all over the place the Millennium Falcon. So Disney, in its own merchandise, doesn't even recognize the Ghost as a viable ship. It hasn't done anything to earn itself the history and earn itself the reputation that the Millennium Falcon has earned. Now, as our fans brought up, they're just as good as the pilots themselves, and we've found that Han Solo, it's a ship that can be piloted by anybody with a good head for piloting. We got Lando, we got Han Solo. Whereas anytime somebody other than Hera has tried to pilot the Ghost, not necessarily been the wisest decision.
Okay.
The Millennium Falcon is the more dependable ship than the Ghost. And that's my time.
Wow. Very well done, Mark.
I'm excited to hear yours.
Yeah.
Going first is very scary
It is, isn't it?
because I don't have time. I can't go against anything that you're going to say.
No. I get to destroy all your points. No, it's not true.
Please
All right.
do.
Are we ready?
You got 90 seconds on the clock from Mr. John Rocha, and your time starts now.
Go! The Falcon is a smuggling ship. What are we talking about? It just smuggles. It didn't really get involved in much of the battles. I mean, there was one with the Death Star escape that was a little bit, and it's a maneuverable ship, granted, but it is not really built. Those little contraptions hanging off, shooting, terrible. They're not really built. In fact, a young kid could step in there and figure it out so quickly, and they're using like those. I mean, the technology is outdated. It's ridiculous. The Ghost is way more updated, way more intelligent. It moves quicker, moves lighter. It's flown by a warrior, by a fighter, not a smuggler with some vest from the 1970s. It's like a real good-looking ship that powers, and it's built to take hits. The Falcon is what does he call them? The bucket of bolts. What happens all through Star Wars? They can't get that warp drive working. Why would I want a ship that's not dependable? That does not happen with the Ghost. The Ghost fights. The Ghost gets in there. The Ghost in and out. And it is a ship built to handle battles. It has done so on numerous occasions that we've seen in Rebels. It's not a ship that's going to run away from battle like the Falcon does. It's more a matter of a strong. Look, I get it. It's nice. I bought it when I was a kid. I own it. It's nice. It's sweet. It's good to look at. I put it on the shelf. The Ghost is what I'm playing with, though, because the Millennium Falcon's untouchable. You know why? Because it's a massive thing. What does Rey say when she's walking by? Oh, not that piece of trash in Force Awakens. She reluctantly goes to the Falcon. She doesn't go to the Falcon because she wants to. She reluctantly goes to the Falcon. If the Ghost was sitting there, she'd have jumped into the Ghost and taken that thing off because it was lighter, faster, quicker, and she'd have gotten away from the TIE fighters so much more, and that's what it's built to do.
Wow, that was interesting. When you were talking about a kid can go in there and fire the lasers, I thought you were talking about Ezra. So let us know what you think.
You're not allowed to rebuttal. You're not allowed to rebuttal.
That wasn't a rebuttal. I'm just saying a thought.
What?
Yeah, that was a jerk. That was a jerk thing of me to do,
Go
and I
ahead.
apologize. Points off for me.
No.
Judges, points off for me. Okay, cool. We got it. Thank you to everybody who took part and allowed us to take whichever side it was going to be.
Yes.
That definitely kept us on our toes. We had to be prepared for the other side.
We really do. It's insane.
Now, if I could, I would like to fact check.
Dude, good.
I don't remember we were doing this.
That's fine. Go ahead.
You're correct. I could not find in a quick Google search. There may be out there, but I could not find a shirt with the ghost on it. I will say that. I could not find one.
All right.
There may be one available, but I did not find one.
Like, oh, that's the one fact.
That's the one.
Oh God.
The one fact.
Caring about
Absolutely find it.
We're caring.
That's right,
this is
guys.
the real issues here at Jedi Alliance.
But that implies that all my facts that I said about the Millennium Falcon are correct. That it's a runaway ship. It's not really built to.
I mean, that implies that all of mine that I said about the ghosts are true too.
All right.
John, hold on. John.
Yes. Oh, yes. Of course.
Wonderful
of course.
debate.
Good
Wonderful
match.
debate with you, John.
Thank you. You
And
too.
let us know what you think in the comments down below after the live stream is over, so that we can save them. Also, God, there it is. It's the burp. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. I'll let you know where all of those specifics are in a second. But we're going to be posting this on our Facebook page so that you can let us know who had the better argument and what your argument is for what ship. Gentlemen, this is another step forward in the future. That is Jedi Alliance. How are we feeling? How are we doing?
I'm great.
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Feeling great.
Well, time to wrap that stuff up. Who needs to feel good forever? Who wants to be reminded?
That's a great line. I
This
don't know where you got that
Who
from.
needs to be
know.
reminded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somewhere.
Okay.
Who
I
needs, who needs to be
I
reminded?
feel like you just made that up.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
that's from something.
Okay.
It's probably from something.
Okay.
Knowing my brain. Very few original ideas. That's not true.
Oh my gosh.
Take it to the bank. Michael, let the folks know where they can find you throughout the week and your social media, all sorts of stuff. Please. All
Well,
projects.
you can find me at Instagram and Twitter at OneYoungster, which is ONEYOUNGSTA. And you can also find me at thatnerdsoul.com, or you can search YouTube for NerdSoul. And I'll be right here at the sister site on AfterBuzz TV for The Strain on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. EST. I mean, PST.
There you go.
Nice.
Nailed it. John.
I want to say nerd soul. I'm sorry, I want to say that. I
Yeah.
apologize. Out of total respect, too. Yeah, guys, you can always find me at The Rocha Says, TheRochaSays. Those are the shows. You can see there all the shows. I'm sorry, Instagram and Twitter. You can see all the shows I'm hosting, co-hosting, and being on. Watch the Top 10 show this week. There's an announcement on the show. It's Top 10 Tom Cruise films, so we're doing that in honor of Jack Reacher.
this weekend?
Yes, Jack
Dang,
Reacher. It's
dude.
my birthday weekend, and that's my movie, son, because I love Tom Cruise. But I'm making my friends take me to that movie, no lie. And so
Good.
we're doing that on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Collider YouTube channel. Also, the Cinephiles. We just dropped a couple of really awesome episodes, LA Confidential, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which we did with former Hasbro executive Michael Ross, who was a massive fan of the film. So we talked about it there. And then
You had a big weekend, huh?
I did. And then Super Animation Game Time, which we just did the second episode last week, where we interviewed Michael Vogel, who is the current co-executive producer of the new My Little Pony movie, and he was in charge of development and branding and, of course, VP of Entertainment for Hasbro at the time, and then left last year, and he is, or earlier this year rather, and he is freelance, and we have a great time interviewing him. You can find that on Geek and Sundry's Twitch channel on their Alpha platform.
And in this upcoming
And
weekend, you don't have
this
anything big?
Friday.
Nothing big coming up?
Baby carrots! It's time for me to make some carrot juice. That's right. Me and you, buddy, going at it for the final of the Ultimate Schmoedown. I'm going to take you down. Your whole Hawaiian t-shirts, eating pizza, relaxed lifestyle of yours, that weekend at Bernie's crap you're doing, I'm coming for it and I'm breaking it in half. I'm going to turn you into Bernie, which means a dead guy I'm dragging around for an hour and a half.
Really
That's what
hoping
I'm
you would
telling
go there.
I'm
Really
I'm not
hoping you
even
would go
joking. Ellis, so you see those big eyes of yours? I'm going to shut them. I'm going to shut them down and put crosses on them because you're going to be able to put pennies. Well, I guess I got to put quarters because your eyes are so big on them to send you down the river Styx. It's over! The Ultimate Schmoedown on Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Collider YouTube channel.
Of Ultimate Destiny. I'm very excited to see this round and your future in the Ultimate Showdown. It's been an amazing ride. Keep that train rolling, Outlaw.
see what happens.
We're all for it.
Thank you.
And I'm the internet's Mark B. Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. I'm doing another show tonight here, Video Game Movie Anatomy, where we're going to be covering Silent Hill from 2006. A little bit too spoopy for me, but it's Halloween month. Why not? Also, I do plenty of work over at our sister site, AfterBuzz TV. I'm one of the producers and hosts of X-Pac 12360. If you're a wrestling fan, Shaw Wallman is talking to all of his friends. Last week, he interviewed The Godfather, and he had it was such a fun interview.
Wait, The Godfather?
The Godfather, Charles Wright. So such a fun interview.
Nice.
That's some Papa Shango stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, if you're a wrestling fan, follow me. If you're a Rooster Teeth fan, follow me. We got a whole bunch of new stuff coming up. That's Mark B. Donica. You can follow all of us here at the Popcorn Talk. Thank you for watching and or listening to Jedi Alliance. You can visit popcorntalknetwork.com to find a nice list of all of the past episodes of Jedi Alliance and links to both YouTube and iTunes. Please also follow us on Twitter at Jedi_Alliance and Facebook at Jedi Alliance for all of the us-related news. This has been Jedi Alliance on the Popcorn Talk Network. We talk movies. Thank you for listening, because many Bothans died to bring us this information.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.